Good morning, everyone. Welcoming you on this beautiful Monday morning, and good morning for those of you in Hawaii as well. It is after 1 o'clock in the morning in Hawaii. It is currently 1:16 in the morning out there, 7:16 in the morning in the East, and in the Pacific Standard Time Zone, it is just turned 4:17 in the morning. I know it's been a while since I've done a program, and I do apologize for the long time without doing a program. But um, hopefully, everyone is being safe in the coronavirus situation here. Uh, but today's program, we're gonna cover a lot of different things, and they will be starting momentarily here. First of all, a couple of key games we saw in the NFL yesterday. Well, both of the key games were decided by a touchdown. Sunday Night Football, Green Bay Packers beat the New Orleans Saints 37-30 yesterday. Aaron Rodgers throwing three touchdown passes in yesterday's game. So they have a total of 42, 43, and 37 points in the first 3 weeks of the season. Uh, Incredible scoring. They're averaging six touchdowns in the first two games. They're averaging over five touchdowns in yesterday's game. Uh, just an incredible, remarkable run that the Atlanta Falcons, two straight games in a row, they blow a 15-point lead in Dallas a week ago and lose on an onside kick, and Dallas goes down. It's the game-winning field goal. They win 40-39 yesterday. The unbeaten Chicago Bears with Nick Foles coming in as Trubisky was ineffective in the game in Atlanta. So Nick Foles comes in, he throws three touchdown passes, and Matt Ryan yesterday had pretty good statistics, 19 of 38, 238 yards on a touchdown. Um, but the Atlanta Falcons, they've got to find a way to close out games if they are going to win. So the Battle of Unbeatens in Buffalo yesterday. Well, it was Josh Allen throwing the game-winning touchdown pass with 15 seconds to go, and it was basically due to a pass interference call that was called against the Los Angeles Rams that allowed the Buffalo Bills to come from behind and win. Actually, they were up 28-3. The Los Angeles Rams comes back with 29 unanswered. They were up 32-28, and then on a pass interference call, that's how the Rams lose the game, and they lose 35-32. Washington, well, we're still used to calling them the Redskins, so uh, they lose 34-20 in Cleveland yesterday. You know, Terry McLaurin from Washington had a big day. 4 receptions for 83 yards in that game yesterday. Dwayne Haskins Jr. also, he passed for 224 yards and two touchdowns. He was 21 of 37 yesterday. But you got to give it to Nick Chubb. What a game he had yesterday. 19 carries for 108 yards. He had a couple of touchdowns, and the Browns end up winning it 34-20. Tennessee gets a late field goal against the Minnesota Vikings, and the Vikings go to 0-3, while Tennessee goes to 3-0. Ryan Tannehill was 23 of 37 for 321 yards yesterday, and interception. And Dalvin Cook on the rushing end for Minnesota had a big game, 22 threes, 181 yards, and a touchdown. Justin Jefferson on the receiving end has 7 receptions for 175 yards and a touchdown. The Raiders were unbeaten going into Foxborough, but Burkhead leads the Patriots to victory with 3 touchdowns. Rex Burkhead, what a game he had. 3 touchdowns in that game. But the story of the game was Sony Michel, or Michelle. 9 carries for 117 yards in that game yesterday. Unbelievable game. They could not stop him. The rest of the other guys, including Taylor, they were able to keep in check, but not when it came to Sonny Michel. 9 carries for 117 yards. 49ers go into The Meadowlands take on the Giants. Despite having 6 major injuries in 2 games in the Meadowlands, 4 major injuries in week 2 against the Jets. Well, I'll tell you, Nick Bosa, that is a big injury. When they go and play Drew Brees and the Saints in October, on October 25th, they will go and play the New Orleans Saints. They hope to have at least Nick Bosa back in that game. And George Little, how big of a factor was he in last year's game? He's going to need to play in that game as well. So a couple of key players are going to have in that game if they're going to win. But Nick Mullins, what a game he had yesterday. 25 of 36, 343 yards, a touchdown in yesterday's game. And Brandon Ayuk, 5 receptions for 70 yards yesterday. An average of, when you average that out, it would have come out to over 14 yards of reception. Actually, 14 yards of reception is what it comes out to. So what an amazing game. This game was 6-6 at one point. And the 49ers, after the game was tied at 6, they outscored the New York Giants 30-3 the rest of the way. And the Giants go to 0-3. And a couple of other early games. Pittsburgh comes from behind and beats the Texans. Houston Texans are now 0-3. Steelers are unbeaten after a come-from-behind 28-21 victory in that game. Cincinnati Bengals and Philadelphia Eagles on the eastern side of the state. And that ends up a 23-23 overtime tie in that one. And the late games yesterday. The NFL on CBS, they had a couple of them. Indianapolis beats the New York Jets 36-7. So both the Giants and the Jets in the Meadowlands, they are a combined 0-6. The Jets have a game against Denver this coming Thursday night to start off week 4. They're looking to go to that start as well to get their first victory. Well, the Denver Broncos, on the other hand, they also got a loss. They're 0-3. We'll go to that in a minute. But the other game in the NFL on CBS had Carolina winning in LA to take on the Chargers. They're both 1-2. And all 3 of the Charger games this season have been decided by less than 7 points. First 2 games were decided by a field goal. In week 1, they get the win in Cincinnati 16-13. In week 2, the Chargers get the loss at home against the Kansas City Chiefs, 23-20 in overtime. And yesterday at home, they lose 21-16 to the Carolina Panthers. And the Chargers will go into Tampa Bay for week 4 in the NFL on CBS. That will be game 1 of the doubleheader. Game 2 will feature the New England Patriots and the Kansas City Chiefs. Coverage will begin at 7 a.m. Hawaiian Standard Time, 10 a.m. Pacific, and 1 p.m. Eastern will be the game between the Chargers and the Buccaneers, the New England Patriots, and the Kansas City Chiefs. Jim Nantz and Jim Nantz and Tony Romo will be at the call of that game in Kansas City as the Chiefs will have 2 straight games at home against the Patriots and the Raiders back to back. Buccaneers go into Denver, and some of you saw that in game 2 of the doubleheader on Fox yesterday. And Tom Brady, what a game he had. 3 touchdowns, no picks, 25-38, 297 yards passing. And on the receiving end, Ronald Jones II. On the rushing end, he had 13 carries for 53 yards, and Scotty Miller, 3 receptions for 83 yards, all for Tampa Bay in the top performers yesterday. Detroit ends an 11-game losing streak and gets their first victory on the road since they last won a game in Philadelphia. They win 26-23, upset the Arizona Cardinals and the Cardinals suffer their first loss. Seattle Seahawks in a come from behind victory after they were up 30-15 at one point in the second half of that game. Cowboys come back, they take a 31-30 lead, but giving Russ Wilson and the Seahawks too much time to go downfield. And then Tyler Lockett eventually gets his third touchdown pass, and the Seahawks end up winning it 38-31. The Seahawks go to 3-0, and the Cowboys go to 1-2. The Cowboys could easily be 0-3 if it wasn't for that onside kick recovery and they go down against the Atlanta Falcons and get the game-winning field goal. They would be 0-3 right now and hosting the Cleveland Browns on Fox NFL Sunday, this coming Sunday at 1 Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, and 7 a.m. for those of you in Hawaii. And Sunday Night Football saw Green Bay beat New Orleans 37-30. Well, Drew Brees, 29-36, 288 yards. He did have 3 touchdown passes in the game, but it was still not enough to get the victory. And Monday Night Football tonight will be Kansas City at Baltimore. Thursday Night Football this past Thursday was Miami getting the win in Jacksonville. And amazing this time around. Well, in the NBA, as you know, the Celtics win Game 6 against the Miami Heat. They win 125-113, and Jaylen Brown led the Celtics with 26 points, 8 rebounds, and 4 assists in that game. But Bam Adebayo led Miami with 32 points, 14 rebounds, and 5 assists. They will take on the Los Angeles Lakers in Game 1. And also, the NHL will have game number 6 tonight between the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Dallas Stars. The last 2 games, they have gone into overtime, each team winning one, as Dallas had a must-win or else their season would be over in Game 5. They did get the victory in double overtime, and they look to force a Game 7 with a win tonight. 2 o'clock will be the start time of that game in Hawaii, and it'll start at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, and 2 o'clock in Hawaii for game number 6 of that series tonight. Major League Baseball. Well, the last day of the regular season, and we'll go through some of the games as the Miami Marlins get the victory at Yankee Stadium 5-0. Castano gets the win. He is 1-2 and an ERA of 3.03. And the Miami Marlins ended a streak of 10 straight losing seasons, beating the New York Yankees in that game. Kansas City beats Detroit 3-1. San Diego beats San Francisco 5-4. It was Texas beating Houston 8-4. It was the Washington Nationals beating the New York Mets 15-5. Baltimore beats Toronto 7-5. Arizona beats Colorado 11-3. Boston beats Atlanta 9-1. The Cubs beat the White Sox in the Battle of Chicago 10-8. Cleveland beats Pittsburgh 8-6. The Battle of the City of Angels in the LA area. Dodgers get the best of the Angels 5-0. Cincinnati beats Minnesota 5-3. Oakland beats Seattle 6-2. Tampa Bay beats Philadelphia 5-0, and St. Louis beats Milwaukee 5-2. Now, the postseason will begin on October the 6th. So we will have, actually, I'm sorry, it should begin October the 5th. It will begin on October the 5th, and it will be the American League starting it off with a couple of games. Uh, FS1 will have the coverage of the National League and upcoming schedules and everything. We will let you know as they come out and who will be playing who and everything else. Uh, well, enjoy the rest of your day, and thank you for watching today. If you love the content of what you heard today, please subscribe to this channel and hit the notifications bell, and you will get all notifications. Hit the top bell, and then you will get all notifications every time we do a program. Again, thank you for watching today, and we'll see you on the next program.